Okay guys, we've just joined the room in Friday Night 9 Ball, and this is a second round match this week, and we have PM147 who's playing Larry. It's a race to 7, it's multiple money ball handicapping. We can see that PM147 up there in the HUD is getting the 8 ball in this match. Now that was a poor shot because he didn't get to the rail. There's a bit of a mess going on here, but the 3 ball goes, the 4 ball goes past the 5. All the balls do pot, so this is actually quite a good chance for Larry to run this rack, and he really should do it. And we'll just wait and see how he manages to control this. Needs to draw back clean here to avoid hitting a 4, and he's managed that. So the problem shot is really just getting from the 5 to the 6, and that's already going to be a problem because Larry's drawn right into the rail and he's got out of line, and this is now going to be a slight problem. He's trying to play it in the short side, which he's done well, and again though he's a bit straight in this 6 ball, so he might draw back. Difficult to say what he's thinking, but he's still got to remember to get on to the 8. And he's looking to see the angles here. He doesn't want to overcook this if he does draw back. And that's actually pretty good because now he's got a nice little angle in the 7. And he'll be playing the 8 ball long, I think, unless he draws it back again. Yeah, well, he's managed to hold it. So here's the crucial one. And of course PM147 just needs this 8 ball, so Larry's got to sink it. And he's made the mistake. Done all the hard work up to that point, and now he's sold the rack by overcutting the 8. And PM147, after making that poor safety, lets Larry do all the hard work and then just comes in and sinks the 8 ball. But that's the way it is with the multiple money ball handicapping. You've really got to run out when you're giving them away. The standard that these guys play at, I haven't seen PM147 play a lot. I certainly know what Larry's capable of, and he doesn't want to be doing too many of those mistakes. Now, while we're early in this second rack, let's have a quick look at the bracket. Now, the match that we are watching is down here, and we can see that there's most of the results have come in from the first round, although there's still a match at the top there, which is looking to be going all the way. It's at 5-all between Houdini and Popman, and Larry and PM147 are going to be battling it out to see who plays either Deshane or Bad Brad. And we can see the one lost side is shaping up as well, but we're still early in the tournament. Right, now let's see where we've got to now. Well, PM147 scratched this time by the looks of it. Again, Larry has a chance. This isn't as good a chance, I think. That 2 does go past the 3, so he's only got to control this cue ball again. Well, if there's ever going to be a problem, this might be it. Getting from the 4 and getting onto the 7. Now if he goes across the table, he had to leave it short because he didn't want to hook himself behind a 9. But now he's got a perfect angle just to drop down onto the 8. Doesn't matter if he finishes straight in the 8 because he can... Well, again, he's made the mistake, but this time he's covered it with the 8 ball, but no prizes for guessing what PM147 is going to do. Just bank up and down the table, and that looks pretty good for the angle. He's going to kiss it in. Now, is he behind that knuckle? No, he's not, so... Well, oh dear. Now, that might be an incentive for Larry, because he was staring 2-0 in the face there from 2 errors by himself. But this time it looks like Larry's going to pinch the rack. So in goes the 9, and we're back all square, 1 rack all. And once again, no luck on the break. Well, PM147 looks as if he has a fair idea of what he's doing, but I think he's just a bit rushed. But Larry's got another problem, of course, not just potting the 3 ball, but somehow getting a shot in this 4, and really the only shot looks like a combo into the 5, and that's what he's looking to play. Well, that's actually done him a favour there. That's taking the pace out of the cue ball. Okay, he's not got a perfect angle to line up this combo, but he doesn't need to play it hard either. That was well played, well controlled. 4 balls hanging there over the corner. Again, he's got to get a good bit of pace in the cue ball here, and needs to watch he doesn't go off into that left middle, but he's got to get back behind the 9 for this 7 ball, and he's overhit it. He's overhit it and he's hooked. So again, at a critical point in the rack, the error's been made. And remember, Larry could already be 2-0 down. Well, I think he'll be happy with that, because I think that's... Is that covered? No, it's not. I thought it had covered it. So, just a 7 ball and the 8. And really, we haven't seen an awful lot of work here from PM147 so far. But nevertheless, he's now 2 racks to 1 in front. And something went in. I don't know what went in. What was it? The 7 ball. And he's got a shot on the 1. And he's possibly got a 2-9 combo into the left middle if he plays this dead weight. I think he's just got a bit awkward queuing here next to this 3 ball. Well, now he's committed to trying to sink the 2. He's going to have to hit this with a bit of pace to get the cue ball away from the 9 and the 5. Well, that was a great shot. How he managed to get through that 9 and 5, I don't know. I mean, it was just a width of a ball, but he got through it. And maybe PM147 is just warming up here. So remember, he just needs the 5, the 6. Well, he sunk the 9 ball anyway, so that concludes that rack. So it's now 3 racks to 1. And nothing has gone in. And Larry knows he's got to get himself back into this match quick. Now, what's Larry going to do? Is he going to play for the big open space to the right of the 8 and the 4? Or is he going to try and get through that space? Well, he's played through the space. And I think he can hold this cue ball for the 4 into the left middle. Almost got away from him there, but he's managed to hold it. This time he might be able to just draw it. He could have went through with a bit of inside English, but he's okay. I think he might be a bit straight though. Well, he's going to have to force this to get on this 7 ball, and already this angle is a bit more than would be comfortable. And now he should be home and dry. So in goes the 9, and Larry's back to 3 racks to 2 down and breaking off in the 6 rack. And 2 ball goes into the right middle, and he has a shot in the 1. And if he can keep the cue ball in the middle of the table off this 1, he's looking at a 3-9 combo. He's having a look at that. It's not set, so he might look to actually bring the cue ball over behind that 8 ball over to the left for the 3 into the right hand corner. And if he gets this, he's got a good chance of running out, but it's not easy. Yeah, he had to dig down. Well, the 1's gone in, but he's overhit the cue ball, so he'll take that anyway. It still gives him a shot in the 3 one way or another. But it's a nasty cut back. He could play the cut into the right middle, he could play the bank. Looks like the bank, I think. How's he going to be on the 4 though? Well, he's played the cut into the middle, but didn't get the control to hold for this 4, so now he's more or less made up his own mind here. Now it looks like the bank on the 4, because the cue ball's coming up for the 5, and it's not gone in. Has he got cover? Yes, he has. Well, he managed to spin it round. It's a good shot. Had plenty of distance to get the cue ball round at 5. So again, the error's been made, and again PM147 is all over it. That's now 4 racks to 2 in front for PM147. Now he's come up dry. Larry's got a shot in the 1. 2's more than likely going to be a combo into the 7. Again, Larry's having to dig down, but he's controlled that much better. But even if he gets this 2-7 combo, he's still got a lot of work to do. The 5 and the 8 ball's tied up. But then again, even if Larry makes a mistake, PM147 still got a lot of work to do also, of course, because he needs that 8 ball to win the rack. But I think if Larry can get the 2, the 3 and the 4 here, he can certainly tie PM147 up if he can get good position for a shot on this 5 ball, because it's not going to pot unless he can get an angle to break it, and that doesn't look too great. It's all down to how he does on this 4 ball. He needs to be lying more or less parallel with the 4 to give himself an angle, and he probably just rolled through in the short side here. Or is he trying to stun across? Well, he's played the stun shot. That needs to bounce, and I think he's far too straight. There's nothing he can do, and I think really he should be just looking at getting the cue ball into the left hand side of the table so he can play a safety on this 5. Now, has he gone far enough? Well, he could have done with going a bit farther to the left to give him a clean shot on it. But he's still got the cover, but this is an easy kick, and there's a strong chance that this might go in as well. Oh well, he's misjudged that, but crucially he's hit that 8 ball close to the 9, so again, although Larry's got ball in hand, he's got a major problem here in trying to run this rack out, and he might even try it now, and he's going to have to ride his luck if he does that. And he went for the connection with the 8 and 9, and he's missed it. But he's got himself on the 6. Now, how does that look from behind the shot? Again, it's too straight. So again, Larry should just be looking to draw the cue ball back and just drop the cue ball in behind that 9, and I think that is not the best of shots Larry's ever played. He left that way short. How does that look now? Well, the 8 ball certainly doesn't pot because you can't see enough of it, so well, now this is actually where Larry should have been in his previous shot. He should have been playing this 8 ball like this, so Larry's going to bury him behind the 9 this time. Again, that is not an easy, a difficult shot to hit. Surely he can't just hit it off. Well, Larry should have stunned it instead of the slow roll, but it doesn't matter. Larry's got ball in hand. I hope he realises that. I don't think he does. The game's called foul, rail not hit, and Larry's too busy looking at the 8. Well, thank God for his sake that he sunk the 8, because there's no way he would have wanted to play the 8 ball from that position. And anyway, Larry's reduced the deficit. He's back to 3-4 down. In goes the 4 ball in the top right. And I think again he's got a shot in the 1 this time though. He's got a much better opportunity with this 2 ball being over the top left. You just got to make sure he doesn't block himself. And what has he done? He's gone and blocked himself. Now, he doesn't want to be moving this 5 and 9. Now that was well played. How's his luck? Well, he'll take that. But of course now, this cue ball has got to travel the proverbial country mile to get round the table, because the 5 does go into that middle. And of course he couldn't avoid the traffic. And now he's got absolutely no shot. Well, the only favour he's done himself there is sink the 8 ball, because that's get rid of PM147's extra money ball. And that's now split them up, and ball in hand to PM147. But he has to now clear the table. Now, what he should do is just roll through and leave that 7 into the right middle. But again, not focused enough and in too much of a hurry, in my opinion. And he's gone and sold it back to Larry. Well, Larry's got nothing to worry about if PM147 keeps playing shots like that, because that was careless. It's almost as if PM147's got a night out planned and doesn't want to hang around too much. So, before you know it, Larry's back on course here. He's tied the match back up at 4 racks all. Now in goes the 3, top left. And now he's got a shot in the 1. Now are things beginning to fall into place for Larry? That needs to hold up. I think he's okay. Yeah, just half an inch further and he was hooked. Now again, looking at this table, Larry should be running out. No reason why he shouldn't. The only one he's got to worry about is just getting nice position on this 5, so he can drop behind the 6, because the 6 goes in past the 9 ball, no problem. And it also of course goes into the right hand corner. And it looks odds on that Larry's just going to kill the cue ball here and just leave the 6 into the top right. And if he leaves a nice angle on this 6, he can just drop that 6 in and leave the 7 into the right middle as well. That looks more than likely what he's going to do. He's not going to hit this hard. And just drop the 6 in and leave the cue ball more or less round about where the 6 ball is, or just out from the rail a bit. He's looking at the potting angle in the 7. Well, I honestly don't know what Larry's thinking. He could have dropped it in, and now he's left himself in the middle of no man's land again with one of these awkward cutbacks and a 7 ball. Or maybe Larry didn't think he could hold for the 7. I don't know, because obviously I'm not behind the shot, but he's making things difficult for himself. But he's done it, and he's sitting perfectly on the 8 ball. So for the first time I think in the match, Larry's got himself into a 1 rack lead and now leads by 5 racks to 4 and breaking in the 10th rack. In goes the 4 bottom right, and again he's got a shot in the 1, and this is looking to be a good rack here. Of course, again the problem ball's the 2, it's tight in the right rail, and he's got to get from there to the 3. Well, I suppose the simple shot here is just to draw back on this 2 ball by 2 or 3 inches and leave the 3-9 combo, and that's what he's going to do. And this is not a difficult combo, even though there's a good distance between them. The aiming point on that 9 is quite a wide margin for it to drop in, but again he rushed at it, he's missed it, and he's left it open here. Let's see what PM147 can do. Can he hold himself together to run out the remainder of this rack up to the 8 ball? And there's plenty of margin for error on this 8 ball because he needs to just get the cue ball over the left hand side of the table, and he's got a perfect angle for that. And that is a terrible shot. There's absolutely no forgiveness and no reason for any player to leave a shot like that on when you've got 5 foot of table to the left of you to actually play into. But he's got away with it. He's played the kick shot, left Larry nothing, and surely Larry's not going to try and cut this down the rail. This is suicide if he doesn't get it. Well, that's a great shot. Where's the cue ball going? But he's only halfway home. He's got to get the 9. And this looks a fairly easy standard bank shot. Plenty of room between the 9 and the rail. And he could double bank it as well. Wow, he's hit the jaw, and that's it, gone this time. Well, this rack's been topsy-turvy, and we really saw probably one of the poorest positional shots I've seen, certainly from any player that's rated to over 2,000. Absolutely no reason he should have ever done that. But anyway, worse things happen, and he's still won the rack, and it's now 5 racks all. Again, this is cuttable, but you're really relying on a bit of luck to get a position on this 3 ball. I'd be just pushing this and playing for cover, and Larry's done the right thing. And nothing of that 2 ball showing. And that doesn't look like the right angle to get to the 2. No, that was well out of line. But again, it puts pressure on Larry because he's obviously got ball in hand. These balls are not sitting perfect. And of course the crucial one we can see is getting from the 2 to the 3. That needs to hit that knuckle, which it's done, and that makes it a better angle for Larry. He can just push through in this 3 ball and the cue ball up the right hand side of the table, and he'd be really unlucky not to get a shot in the 4. but even so, that was still under hit by a foot. You can still see the 4, and he needs to go through to the left hand side of the 5 as we look, and that's well played. Now he needs to get a nice angle in the 7. How does that look? Well, that looks okay. I think he can still draw and avoid hitting the 8 here. Yeah. And he won't be doing very much with this cue ball. Just a soft draw shot and leave himself the long 9. Don't do any heroics when you don't need to. That's the rules. Keep it simple. So in goes the 9, and Larry now has crucially got himself back into a 1-rack lead. He's sitting on the hill and he's breaking in rack number 12. And once again the 4 ball into the bottom right as we look, and once again Larry's got a shot on the 1. Now he's going to have to try and hit this 2 ball, I think, to actually even hold any kind of position. Well, he's hit the 2, and he'll probably take that, because although it's a sort of awkward little cut, it still gives him a good chance to get the 2 and still be on this 3 ball. Well, that's unlucky. He played that well, as a matter of fact. But he's got cover, and that's the little run of the ball that you need at this stage in a match. PM147 stuck behind the 7 and 6 ball, and let's see if he can swerve round it this time. Well, no, he can't. And has PM147 played his last shot in this match? So Larry's got ball in hand. Again, a big area to play into just to get on this 3. But getting on the 3 isn't the problem. Getting on it so that you can get this cue ball out for the 5 is what matters, and I think he's dead straight. So once again, this is one of these touch shots that is difficult to judge when you're stuck in a pocket like that. But he's played that well, and now he's sitting pretty. He can roll in the 5 and roll around the angles if he wants, or just go off the end rail and back out with the cue ball. And I think if he's got again the angle, he'll just roll through, straight through to the right rail and go beyond the 7 ball, take it into the left hand middle. That's a simple shot. And now he's in prime position. Again, cue ball's going to come down towards us between the first and middle diamond from the left hand side as we look in this bottom rail, and that'll give him a nice angle in the 8 ball. Well, he's gone slightly wide of that mark, but that's now sitting perfect because he can just draw back a little off this 8, and he's got a fairly straightforward 9 ball to seal the match. And in goes the 9, and Larry manages to scrape through eventually, and he wins by 7 racks to 5. PM147 moves over to the 1 loss side, and he's going to have to fight his cause for the rest of the tournament from there.